Hello, everybody who's here. Good evening. Yeah, I'm not going to turn my camera on. I'm going to say a few things before Mark Levin comes on. Where do I start? How about with you, Alicia? Let me start with you. Yeah. How about it, Alicia? Bet you never thought I'd have a panel. There's a reason I call you passed around. You fucking played Jeff, you played Caleb, you played all them other guys, and then now you got wow. And I come up there and that motherfucker won't let me speak my mind. I let him speak his mind here the night before. So your boyfriend drew the line in the sand last night, Alicia. So, you know, I don't I'm not gonna support him no more. I'm done supporting that fucker. There's lots of other people with disabled kids out there that fucking need attention and shit. He's a piece of shit. She's got a fucking dirtbag for a father. That motherfucker thinks he's pretty tough. Alicia, you're brain dead motherfucker. Going where the money is. Can't really say I blame you, but you know, you ain't got no fucking pride at all. You sit there and fucking grab ass with that motherfucker because he's paying you. It's not like you guys are fucking 17, 18, 19 years old and just, or high school sweethearts. Yeah, he wouldn't let me speak last night. He shut me down. Want to lecture me. So, we're peers and you're a generation behind me. You're fucking dating a guy who's old enough to be your father. That's fucked up. That's worse than what JC admits to. Now, we didn't know JC back when she was that age. We only know about it because she talks about it here in the chat. Go ahead, Wiggin. Come on into my chat. Let me see you come up on my fucking panel tonight, you motherfucker. Let me see you try. You dumb son of a bitch. Yeah, JC. You sat there and you tolerated him in your chat. You ignored him. Then he gets mad because of fucking what. He goes in there using. I'm not cloning you. That's my name. He tried to excuse that last night. Wiggin. You open a can of worms that you're not going to be able to fucking. I'm going to shove every single one of them up your ass. You mangy looking fucker. You don't fucking run. The only shit you run is the fucking shit that comes out of your mouth. I'll never come to your chat again, Wiggin. Been saying that how many times? So you fucking, you're worse than JC. It's one thing when the women do it. You're right in the middle of all that shit. I expect more from you, Wiggin. So fuck you. You want to lecture me? Who the fuck are you? No wonder you got money. You got a disabled daughter and you live off the state of California, off the taxpayers. Not all states are like California. You think we're all like you? What a dumb fucker you are, Wiggin. And you're supposed to be a preacher? A man of God? Are you fucking kidding me? Your girlfriend there? Daughter of truth? Warrior what? You ain't no Christian. Christians don't behave the way you do. You want to talk about my behavior? Oh, I don't listen, Wiggin? Wiggins mad because I don't do every fucking thing he says. You seem to forget the discussion that Tammy had out there. You're such a fucking wishy-washy motherfucker, Wiggin. Your girlfriend's been passed around. She goes where the money is. She probably couldn't get any from Caleb. He ain't gonna pay for that shit. And neither is Rocky Goldman. You want to tell me who I should trust? And I don't even know the motherfuckers. I seen Spanky yaking it up. You guys are a bunch of fuck you and JC and Rusty, all these motherfuckers. You're a small group of people. Oh, community, this community, that community. You got Ziggy out there. I know you're listening. Ain't nobody blocked. You want to tell me I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, Wiggin? Came in here yesterday crying and I blocked one of your stupid fucking clones. You lucky I can't get my hands on you, Wiggin. I'd break every fucking finger on your hands. Yeah, turn me in for that. One minute you're dumping on DA, and the next minute you're sucking his ass. It's a fucking miracle. Like DA, some great conservative. Fucking Sebastian is a great conservative. You're a fucking moron. Liposuction. I got your fucking liposuction. You suck on my dick. Give me some liposuction. You could suck on that. That fucking Sebastian, what a fucking piece of shit that motherfucker is. You know, better than Gotti, Wiggin. 6'1", half dozen the other.
That place is ZipRecruiter. To find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates.
Trust your home with Valor. Visit valorhome.com.
This report is sponsored by
Yeah, JC, you're okay with Randy keep posting that I finger my niece, right? You're okay with that?
Select mattresses and more. Plus, get a free
You okay with that, huh, JC? I listen to we can call you all kinds of names and shit, and you guys will be right back in love. You fucking sexual motherfucks.
At Hampton Park Boulevard, use extra caution there. Earlier disabled on the inner loop before 355, completely cleared.
He's right about your panel yesterday, JC. You got all of them fucking lug nuts up there.
The accident on the northbound lanes of Route 1.
And none of them got a life.
Monaco, there is still the accident on
All bunch of fucking needy people. Burden on society, all them motherfuckers. And you got Mina in there fucking mixing her fucking bullshit. She knows who's on the new crew. She knows what's going on.
Will drop down to 24 to
You
30
fucking
degrees.
lying bitch.
Some scattered clouds over the-
Ooh, she's Italian. Oh, I'm Italian. Who gives a fuck?
Say you're dry with sunshine. 70s meteorologist Veronica Johnson made the first alert weather center.
32 degrees in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis on the
Somewhere under the freaking steel of a nondescript building, we once again make contact with it. All right. But the wonderful band here, number 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. You're watching history, ladies and gentlemen. This press conference President Trump had today, historical in every respect. And you can see because the media are nervous, the media are mocking him, the media offshoots, the entrails, like Drudge Report and Mediaite and these other phony entities, they're mocking him. But this is a statesman. This is a leader. I told you before, he's never been an isolationist. You can't be an isolationist and believe in the defense of the United States of America. I'm not talking about being an interventionist. Every conflict and every issue is a matter for American military activity. That's not his point. That's not my point. We've got a lot to cover today. Very, very fascinating. This Judge Eileen Cannon, if we're up to me, should be on the Supreme Court next. She's got a lot of guts, and she's smart as hell. And she sees exactly what the Attorney General of the United States and this prosecutor, who she already ruled is unconstitutional, they dropped their appeal on that issue of whether he's unconstitutional, and yet he's still filing stuff in her courtroom. We'll get into that. We'll get into the Manhattan appellate judge, who is able to read and digest 800 pages of filings from the defense and the prosecution in record time, and then again ruled against Donald Trump. I don't know how many more times I can say it. They've got to get out of that New York gulag. I hope it's not too late, but they've got to get out of there. And of course, watching the events surrounding Jimmy Carter and the Capitol brings back a lot of memories for me. And whatever you think of Jimmy Carter, it really is a moment for the entire country. When we watch something like that, watch our military, watch the members of Congress all come together and so forth. It's a big deal. But first, Donald Trump, Greenland. Donald Trump sees that communist China and fascistic Russia are scouring the world, are building ships to control navigable waters and sea lanes. They're in our hemisphere. They're in all the hemispheres. They're in both hemispheres. They're in all parts of the globe. And he's looking how we're getting choked off over time. He's a very smart man. He looks at the Panama Canal and he says, wait a minute, the communist Chinese are controlling the Panama Canal. We can't get our Navy from the Atlantic to the Pacific or the Pacific to the Atlantic, which was the purpose of the Panama Canal. Jimmy Carter gave it away. Ronald Reagan, that was one of the big issues he ran on. He sees these things. He sees what Biden is doing to sabotage the country on his way out. So the handful of elitist historians and academics will write nice things about Joe Biden, who's burning down as much of the country as he can on the way out the door. But first,
You fucking asshole, motherfucks. You ain't got shit.
release those hostages. Release those hostages. Cut one, go. Cut one, go.
If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East. And it will not be good for Hamas, and it will not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will break out. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is. And they should have given them back a long time. They should have never taken them. They should have never been the attack of October 7th. People forget that. But there was, and many people are killed. They're no longer hostages. I have people from Israel and others calling, begging me to get, we had also people there from the United States, just so you know. They're holding some so-called hostages from the U.S. But I've had mothers come to me and fathers crying, can I get the body of their son back? Can I get the body of their daughter back? That beautiful girl where they threw her in the car, pulled her by her ponytail and threw her in the car like she was a sack of potatoes. I said, what happened to her? So she's dead. Like a 19, 20-year-old beautiful girl. And the way they treated her. And I just say it this very simply. Steve's got a job to do. He's a great guy, great negotiator, great person. They respect him over there already. It's what we needed over there. We have people that know everything about the Middle East, but they can't speak properly. They don't know. He's a great negotiator. That's what I needed. I could have sent that gentleman right over there, Hussein. He's a great negotiator. There are people, they're rare. Great negotiators are very rare, like a great surgeon. But we have the right person. But I tell this, I don't want to hurt the negotiation. If the deal isn't done before I take office, which is now going to be 2 weeks, all hell will break out in the Middle East.
That's a leader. That's a great leader. That's a man. The media, academia, the Democrat Party, this administration, they don't know what it's like. Compare him to Biden, Obama, Clinton. All hell's going to break loose. We all remember that video, that poor girl who was grabbed by her hair, forced into that car. She had blood on the back of her pants, meaning she'd been raped. Her away, and they obviously abused her and murdered her. I call them animals, but animals don't do this. They are subhuman, low-life monsters. Given celebrity status in our colleges and universities, in Hollywood at their award events where they pat each other on the head and hand each other $1 million gift packages, by our truly disgusting, demagogic, and propagandistic media. No wonder they hate Donald Trump. And the one where he won by a landslide. What he said today, that's our Donald Trump. That's a leader. That's a statesman. America is back. America is back. And he speaks bluntly. He's not a mealy-mouthed rhino or establishment Republican. He speaks bluntly. The Panama Canal. President Trump knows that the Panama Canal is critical to our enemies, to choke off our Navy. The idea that the Communist Chinese have control of that canal is an abomination. The idea that this administration does nothing about it, does nothing about anything, is another abomination. The idea that Carter gave it away is grotesque. Reagan fought it like hell, too. As I said, it was one of the reasons he won the presidency. Not the only, but a big one. and his man in the Senate, Paul Laxalt. One of his closest confidants and friends, Laxalt had been governor of Nevada when he was governor of California. Laxalt backed him in 76 and led his effort to defeat Gerald Ford. And Reagan campaigned against the giveaway of the Panama Canal. It's crucially important that people understand that this is a serious matter and that no president since Reagan has ever brought it up. Neither of the Bushes. No Republican in the Senate or the House has ever brought it up. Donald Trump brought it up. Donald Trump wants to do something about it. All the people kept saying he was an isolationist, and all the isolationists saying he was an isolationist. I told you, no, he's not. No, he's not. Let's go to cut 3, Mr. Producer. Go.
Can you assure the world that as you try to get control of these areas, you are not going to use military or economic coercion?
No.
And can you tell us a little bit about what your plan is? Are you going to negotiate a new treaty? Are you going to ask the Canadians to hold a vote? What is the strategy?
I can't assure you, you're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two. But I can say this, we need them for economic security. The Panama Canal was built for our military. I'm not going to commit to that now. It might be that you'll have to do something. Look, the Panama Canal is vital to our country. It's being operated by China. And we gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China. And they've abused it. They've abused that gift. It should have never been made, by the way. Giving the Panama Canal is why Jimmy Carter lost the election, in my opinion. More so maybe than the hostages. The hostages were a big deal. But if you remember, and nobody wants to talk about the Panama Canal now because, it's inappropriate, I guess, but because it's a bad part of the Carter legacy. But he was a good man. Look, he was a good man. I know him a little bit, and he was a very fine person, but that was a big mistake. Giving the Panama Canal to Panama was a very big mistake. We lost 38,000 people. It cost us the equivalent of $1 trillion, maybe more than that. Probably the most expensive, they say it was the most expensive structure, if we call it a structure, which I guess you can, ever built. And giving that away was a horrible thing. And I believe that's why Jimmy Carter lost the election, even more so than the hostages. Those two things.
And the economy, I'd say those 3 things, but he's right on. Now, that's what a leader does. He sees problems, he speaks out about it, he informs the American people, and he changes policy that's existing today from acquiescence or worse, appeasement, or even worse than that under Biden funding the enemy to, no, we're not going to do any of those 3 things. We can't allow a tiny country like Panama, in many ways a narco state, to control the outcome of a war. And I know what he's thinking about. He's thinking of China. It's the biggest navy on the earth now. And he's looking at this, and that's why he's looking at Greenland too. Why are China and Russia so interested in these areas on the globe that have minuscule populations? Some of them have almost no population. Whether it's the North Pole, the South Pole, but especially the North Pole, where they want to militarize it. Trump sees what's going on. He's an American firster. He believes in peace through strength. In many ways, his foreign policy is much like Reagan's. I've explained this over and over again, too. People have said, oh, the days of Reagan and those conservatives are over. No, they're not. It doesn't mean they're identical. They're not. They're different. They're their own men. But they love the country. They love the country. I don't think Joe Biden loves the country, or he wouldn't commute the sentences of murders. Or he wouldn't have open borders where murders and rapists and drug cartels and fentanyl and illegal weapons, terrorists, gangs we've never heard of before come into the country and abuse our people. Did you see this guy in Palm Beach, Mr. Producer, this illegal alien? He molested a 5-year-old twice. When the authorities finally figured it out, when they were questioning her, she was shaking. She could barely speak. This is what's being done to our children and our women in this country. A woman burned to death, set on fire in a subway in New York City by an illegal alien. Who the hell puts up with this crap? We're assimilating into their cultures. They're not assimilating into ours. We have the Islamists who are here. Islamists who are pouring money into our country, into our universities and colleges, into front groups for terrorism. Terrorists. Right here in our country. You can't love the country when you tolerate these sort of things. Or in fact, your policies provide the platforms for these sort of things. That's why the American people came out. White, black, Jew, Gentile, women, men, gay, straight, didn't matter. Didn't matter. I've got a lot more to say. I'll be right back.
What? Okay.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Making sense of the news.
You voted big government out and efficient government in. Well, now it's time to trim the fat from big wireless. If you're still on the other big name providers, I have one question. Why? Pure Talk, my cell phone company, gives you the exact same service on the exact same towers with better customer service because they're based right here in the United States, all for half the cost. That's right. There's simply no need to spend $85 or $100 per person on your wireless bill, not when you could get unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data with mobile hotspot, just $35 a month. My friends, the average family of four could save about $1,000 a year with Pure Talk while enjoying one of America's most dependable 5G networks. So cut the fat out of your wireless bill, switch to Pure Talk by dialing pound 250 and saying keyword Mark Levin. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say the keyword Mark Levin, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month with Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
In the district, still numerous road closures along the mall in the U.S. Capitol for the state funeral of former President Carter. This includes North Capitol Street between D Street and E Street, Constitution Avenue between 2nd Street and 14th Street. D Street will be closed between 9th Street and 2nd Street, and Pennsylvania Avenue remains closed between 1st Street and 14th Street in Northwest. These closures all should be in effect until Wednesday morning at about 4:30 a.m. In Landover, you'll still find crash activity on Central Avenue west of the Beltway, and in Quantico, there's the accident on Joplin Road at Aiden Road. Now from GarageRepair.com for WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Tonight, partly cloudy, a low around 18. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a high near 31.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. The local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $175 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends 2/1. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-515-6608. 800-515-6608. 800-515-6608.
Chris Platt here. Do you or someone you know suffer from macular degeneration or other vision-related issues? For nearly 50 years, the doctors at Low Vision Specialists of Maryland and Virginia have been designing special glasses to help people who have been diagnosed with macular degeneration or have other sight loss conditions caused by diabetes, cataracts, or stroke. People like Betty.
My vision was declining because of macular degeneration, and I was having particular problems driving and reading. He determined that I did, in fact, need the telescopic glasses. He really is, as far as I'm concerned, pretty much a miracle worker.
Low Vision Specialists help Betty gain back her vision and independence, and they can help you too. Give the doctors a call today at 301-321-7008 to schedule your no-hassle consultation. That's 301-321-7008. Don't wait. Pick up the phone and change a life today.
The first 100 days of President Trump's new administration will shape the future of our nation. My friends at AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, are holding our leaders accountable with the first 100 days tracker. This powerful tool keeps you informed on the administration's progress and tracks key priorities. And during these critical first 100 days, AMAC is offering an exclusive deal. 47% off a 5-year membership. Normally $60. Join now for just $32. As an Association of Mature American Citizens member, you're not just staying informed, you're unlocking valuable benefits like discounts on travel, insurance, and retail, and receiving America's #1 conservative magazine. Plus, you'll have a voice through AMAC Action and join a community that stands for conservative values and a brighter future. No matter your age, this is your moment to get involved. That's amac.us/Levin to join AMAC at a 47% discount. Become part of the movement that's making America great again.
WMAL.
Making sense of the news. Live from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios.
Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
Gulf of Mexico. Well, Trump's looking at the Gulf of Mexico and said, why are we calling it the Gulf of Mexico? Why don't we call it the Gulf of America? Now, you know, those people who really don't give two damns about America, or they're not terribly patriotic, they mock this sort of thing, the phony, self-righteous, pseudo-intellectuals. But it's a damn good question. What about it? I mean, Barack Obama's going around changing names of things. Remember Denali? I happen to like that name, but it was Fort McKinley. Excuse me, Mount McKinley. And I think Trump said he's going to change it back to Mount McKinley. He likes McKinley as president. But that means, Mr. Producer, Denali, which in the native language means the great one, they're going to be renaming it. But I'm all for it. It should be Mount McKinley. Cut 4, go, please.
And we're going to be announcing at a future date pretty soon. We're going to change, because we do most of the work there and it's ours. We're going to be changing sort of the opposite of Biden, where he's closing everything up, essentially getting rid of $50 to $60 trillion worth of assets. We're going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which has a beautiful ring that covers a lot of territory. The Gulf of America, what a beautiful name.
You know, it's an amazing thing. He's right. Where he's trying to open up production, the private sector, opportunities, wealth, jobs. Biden's shutting us down. In today's digital age, where cyber threats loom larger than ever, safeguarding your personal information is paramount. So why is Congress considering a law that could put your credit card data at greater risk of being hacked and exposed to foreign networks? This Durbin-Marshall credit card bill could jeopardize your financial data, make it more susceptible to cyber intrusions. It's a controversial bill that proposes a shift in billions of dollars worth of consumer transactions to payment networks that lack the robust security measures consumers rely on. Who could possibly want that? Well, the answer? Woke corporate megastores seeking to inflate their multi-billion-dollar profit margins. The Durbin-Marshall credit card bill will undermine our safe and convenient payment systems and endanger your data security. It's time to take a stand. Visit electronicpaymentscoalition.org. Make your voice heard. Tell your senators to oppose the radical Durbin-Marshall credit card bill, paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station.
Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 6:30. I'm Heather Curtis. The late President Jimmy Carter is now lying in state in the Capitol Rotunda. Earlier tonight, members of Congress, Vice President Harris, and other dignitaries gathered there to pay their respects. House Speaker Mike Johnson.
We meet in this sacred hall of self-government to honor an extraordinary man, a man who modeled the virtues of service and citizenship, as well as any other American.
The late president will lie in state through Thursday morning. You can pay your respects starting at 7 tonight. An appeals court denies President-elect Trump's request to delay Friday's sentencing in his New York trial as he appeals the decision to uphold the conviction. Mr. Trump's lawyer argued his client cannot be sentenced because he's entitled to presidential immunity as the president-elect. Last week, Judge Juan Merchan ruled that there is no president-elect immunity. Traffic and weather next.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Here's Michelle Murray in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Cyclone traffic in the district in the 3rd Street Tunnel northbound between D Street and New York Avenue. In Northeast, a vehicle fire now being reported on East Street at 45th Street. In Landover, there is still an accident on Central Avenue just west of the Beltway at Hampton Park Boulevard. Use extra caution there. And you will still find accident activity right now in Quantico on Joplin Road, right near Aden Road. In Loudoun County, a portion of the Charlestown Pike is closed in both directions now between Hamilton Station Road and the Berlin Turnpike due to a serious accident. Now for GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwater Sim forecast.
Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 18. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high near 31. Right now, 32 in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis on WMAL.
You know, it's a new year, Julie, as we've discussed. That also means new year, new you, lots of resolutions out there. And it may be a little cheesy, but I believe in that. And I know for a lot of people, it means getting healthy once and for all. And you and I, well, we have something in common. We both had success with CoPair.
We have. And, CoPair has 2 programs. They have the RX program, which I've had a great deal of success with, but they also have a program without medication. And that's made CoPair the gold standard in weight loss in the DC area for almost 9 years.
That's right. CoPair's programs are easy to follow. They're based on science. They've had over 13,000 successful clients. Every program is personalized with one-on-one coaching, easy to follow nutrition education from dedicated health coaches and nutritionists. The best part, when you reach your goal, you'll have free grad sessions for life. CoPair helps you keep the weight off forever. So call now, tell them Larry and Julie sent you, and learn about the Jumpstart January program, 855-888-0180, or go to CoParehealth.com.
Second opinions.
You get them with your health.
So why not with your wealth?
Your stock market investments deserve a second opinion.
At Hayden & Walsh, it only takes a second
to schedule your free second opinion.
Go online and search for Hayden & Walsh, the second opinion people. Investing involves risk, including a possible loss of principal. Advisory services provided by Hayden & Walsh Asset Management. Securities offered by Hayden & Walsh Inc. Member FINRA SIPC.
Hi, it's Larry. Want to hear the fastest way to know what your home would sell for? Reach out to Reynolds and Power Home team. Simply text your address to 800-763-3000. No phone call, just text your address to 800-763-3000, 800-763-3000.
David Meadsnell here, owner of Meads Heating and Air, letting you know that $79 furnace inspections are back. Book yours today with your friends at Meads.
If your furnace lets you down, call the sharpest team in town.
Making sense of your world.
Greatly appreciated.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
I love listening to you.
Making sense of the news.
The voice of reason in a sea of lunacy. Mark Levin. Dial in now. 877-381-3811.
We are extremely lucky that we have a Donald Trump. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you look at the long path of history behind us, people like this come along very rarely. They're mocked, they're ridiculed, because the very people who are responsible for the circumstances we now face, they're perfectly happy with them. They've created them. They've orchestrated this. And so when you have somebody who is smart, who's experienced, now more than ever in the presidency, who's courageous, who's bold, we're very lucky. We're very lucky he didn't die from an assassin's bullet. Very lucky. And we're very lucky that he decided that he would run for president again, because he didn't need it. God knows he doesn't need it. He didn't need the heartache. He didn't need the expense. He didn't need the ridicule. He didn't need the character assassination, the legal cases. He didn't need any of it, but he did it. He's a gift to this nation. I'm not slobbering. I'm not kissing ass. I am telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth. People have to look at this the right way. The right way. Now we have a judge in Florida. We're lucky to have this judge. Aileen Cannon, former federal prosecutor, former partner at a major law firm, but they ridicule and attack her. Who? The likes of Andrea Mitchell, who has an IQ of a kumquat. Who's wrong about everything. Who's lined up with the hardcore Democrat left. Who defended Biden's insanity. She should have been yanked a long time ago. She should have gotten the hook a long time ago. She's dishonest. She's an intellectual fraud. But aren't they all? So here's what happened, just so you understand. You're in the right place at the right time. Merrick Garland, the Attorney General of the United States, and his handpicked hatchet man, Jack Smith, they're preparing a report about, among other things, the document case in Florida. And this report, as I understand it, was going to talk about all the things they were going to do to prove that Donald Trump is a criminal. And they were going to release it right before the inauguration. Now, let's stop right there. You're the smartest of all audiences. I tell people this all the time. You're the smartest of all audiences, or you wouldn't be here. You'd be listening to some dope down the channel or something else. Number one, she ruled that his appointment is unconstitutional. Number two, they appealed it, but they've dropped the appeal because they're not proceeding with the case. Number three, he shouldn't be filing anything in her courtroom because she ruled he doesn't exist. And they dropped the appeal. But he's doing it anyway, clearly at the direction of the Attorney General. That's just for starters. Now, you know, there's two co-defendants because this not-so-special prosecutor wanted to really put pressure on the conviction of Donald Trump over documents. Documents. Well, these two co-defendants, they're not buckling. They're sticking by their stories. But they didn't drop the case against them. The Department of Justice, in the form, I guess, of the U.S. Attorney down there, claims that they're going to continue the case. Now, when Pam Bondi takes over, hopefully things will be much different, and I'm sure they will be. But that's the state of play right now. That's the state of play right now. You can't put out a report as a nobody, not even a special prosecutor, talking about all the crimes that were committed in this case when you still have two defendants violating due process, violating equal protection, violating basic rights that go back 1,000 years. Your right to confront the prosecutor and the allegations against you. You don't get to write a report and just spill it out there in the public because you want to try and humiliate and embarrass and character assassinate a man who's about to be sworn in as president of the United States. Have you ever seen anything so political in your life? From soup to nuts, the bringing of the cases, the way they've treated these cases, the SWAT team at Mar-a-Lago, and now this. And now this. And by the way, the slime ball who should be disbarred, who worked for Jack Smith, who directed the use of a SWAT team against the Trumps at Mar-a-Lago, he just resigned the other day. You want to know why? He's a puke coward. He's a coward. He doesn't want to face the Office of Professional Responsibility. He doesn't want an ethics investigation of him. So he resigned. That slimeball nobody. He'll wind up on CNN and MSNBC, just like all the other reprobates who were one step ahead of the jailhouse. But there was every reason for Judge Cannon to rule as she did. Now, she put the report off for now, suspended it. And this report is produced as a matter of regulation. It's supposed to be confidential to go to the Attorney General. The Attorney General wants it. Smith wants it, who's a nobody, in order to have a final smear of Donald Trump. This is our Department of Injustice today. There it is. So the judge rules, no, I'm on to you. You know, she's not an idiot like Chunkin. She's not a lapdog for the Democrats like Chunkin. The judge in Washington, D.C., I don't even think she read anything. Who filed it? Oh, Smith here. Rubber stamp, rubber stamp, rubber stamp. She turned her courtroom inside out and upside down, violated God knows how many rules in order to accommodate the government. This is what we're faced with. This is what we're faced with in New York. With this clown Mershon, who should be disbarred. Well, you'd have to go to the authorities, the legal authorities in New York. They're not going to disbar him. They'll probably give him an award. So the judge says, no. Now, I want you to listen to Andrea Mitchell, who doesn't have a legal degree, who doesn't have an ounce of intelligence, who's been so outrageous as a phony report on MSNBC. The idea that she still has a job is a bleeding hemorrhoid on the body of America media. She's a bleeding hemorrhoid on the body of America media. That's right, Andrea. Cut 5, go.
Well, the 11th Circuit would be hearing a case that had already been decided in many other districts that special prosecutors are legal.
Okay, hold on. What the hell are you talking about? They dropped the case. What do you mean the 11th Circuit will be hearing the case? You're such an idiot. You don't even know the state of play. That's number one. That's number one. Number two, it's not a matter of whether special prosecutors are legal, say other circuits. Tell us, which other circuit said so? Under the Independent Counsel Act, which hasn't existed for years, the Supreme Court upheld the Independent Counsel, the statute that was passed and so forth, but it was so bad that Congress got rid of it. Is that what she's talking about? Is that what she's talking about? There were a lot of problems with the appointment of Jack Smith. I won't bother you with him, but it distinguishes his appointment from all past special prosecutor appointments under the regulations in place at the Department of Justice. He hadn't been an employee of the Department of Justice, and I can go on and on and on. So there is a myriad of distinctions between the two, but she's too stupid or too ideological to give a damn. That's the truth. Go ahead.
Cannon, and we know that she has done some very unusual decisions.
So she's trashing the judge. There haven't been any unusual decisions. She's been right. There haven't been any unusual decisions. The hell is she talking about? Go ahead.
All favor, Donald Trump in many controversial ways.
Name one. Name one. This is the problem. This judge did what she needed to do from a legal perspective. There's nothing controversial. The controversy is Jack Smith. Jack Smith has been stopped repeatedly by the U.S. Supreme Court. He's been stopped, yes, by Judge Cannon. The only judge that's been giving him a rubber stamp has been Judge Chunkin, because she's an Obama bomb thrower. And 2 judges at the circuit level in D.C., because they're an Obama and because they're Biden bomb throwers. And so people who watch MSNBC, all 7 of them, they get this kind of outrageous information. Andrea Mitchell is a fraud, a phony, and a fool. That's what she is. Go ahead.
Order temporarily blocking the portion, at least the portion of the report on classified documents. That's raising questions about the jurisdiction. One senior law enforcement official telling NBC News.
Shut up, you idiot. Shut up. I'm sick of you propagandists. You're in the wrong country. If you were in Russia, you'd be doing a great job. Iran, you'd be doing a great job. You're a reporter. You should be a reporter for Pravda, reporter for Al Jazeera. You shouldn't be an American reporter. You're too much of a Number one, an idiot. But number two, a liar. But don't worry, there's Lisa Rubin, MSNBC legal correspondent. She must be really smart. She's a legal correspondent for MSNBC? Listen to this idiot. Cut 6, go.
And in both instances, she says Jack Smith, Attorney General Merrick Garland, and Department of Justice employees and agents and those of the special counsel's office are precluded from sharing either the report or any information contained therein beyond the Department of Justice itself. That theoretically means that, for example, when the 11th Circuit decides that they want to have a crack at this, that those actors will be precluded from even sharing with the 11th.
All right, let's stop. This is a legal analyst. If the 11th Circuit wants to see the report, the 11th Circuit will overrule and say, release the report and give it to us. You idiot. That's number one. The case is before the trial judge, the district court. She is the first shot at this. And she's trying to protect the rights of the defendants. There's absolutely 100% no legal basis, no policy basis, no legitimate basis for even producing this report. None. They dropped the case against Trump, and he got ongoing cases against 2 co-defendants. Why are you writing a report? Even under the regulation, this isn't time for the report. They're writing a report to try and humiliate Trump before he's sworn in. That's it. And this idiot, this legal analyst over at MSLSD is acting like there's something wrong with this judge. Well, there's 2 grounds. Shut up, you idiot. How stupid do you have to be on TV as a lawyer? I'm serious. These aren't even your garden variety slip and fall lawyers. They're dumber. Go ahead.
The superior decision maker the information about the report or even a draft report so that they can make a decision here.
What are you talking about? So they can make a decision here. A decision about what? What are you talking about? A decision about whether the report should be released? So listen to this idiot. The report should be released so the decision maker, the circuit court, the appellate court, to make a decision about whether the report can be released. How stupid do you have to be to work at MSNBC? You know what? Comcast, what the hell's taking you so long? You're already losing subscribers. You want to lose more? You got to broom your network here. You got the Joy Reids, Madam Bigot, the biggest bigot in the media. Then you got idiots like this, Andrea Mitchell, and whoever the hell Lisa Rubin is, the legal analyst for MSNBC. Can you imagine having that on your resume? Go ahead.
It's not clear to folks like me.
Shut up, idiot. There you go, Lisa Rubin. Andrea Mitchell. I'll be right back.
What? News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Making sense of the news. An accident now being reported on the Baltimore-Washington Parkway between Route 50, Kenilworth Avenue, and 202, so use caution there. In Landover, there's an accident at Landover Road, and in Landover, there's...
Wiggin, I was listening. You're talking about, they installed Trump. You like to say that presidents are installed. And, and then you talk about the rich. Under our form of government, we have a right to donate to our political figures. They have a right to accept donations. So what do you want to do? You want to take money out of politics? Because that's essentially what you're saying, that we can't lobby Congress. If you come rich, you can't lobby Congress. It's pretty fucked up, Wiggin. This is what I'm talking about. Maybe you need to find a woman more your age. Or fucking Alicia, like I said about Angie, you'd be better off if you were still with the father of your children. You guys are so dysfunctional over there, and then you want to point the finger at me, Wiggin? Are you fucking kidding me? You hairbag, flea bag looking motherfucker? You had to buy a new couch. You got shamed into buying a new couch because that motherfucker's so grungy. You don't fucking clean that place. Fucking slob. You don't have to be fat and overweight to be a slob. You are. You're a slob, Wiggin. You're also glum. Just what fucking Trump called Chuck Schumer. Glum. You couldn't have picked a better word. So they installed Trump and all the rich. They all got to gather together and decide where they want to put their money. Duh. That's what happens in Congress when you lobby them. Cost you money to go to Washington. As you sit there and brag about making more money than other people in chat. LD Live. You telling me not to worry about fucking Andy 504 who keeps trolling me. I'm supposed to ignore that while you fucking now you're sucking LD's ass like you did JR and the other ones. You don't say anything to Alicia about her little love affair with fucking Jeffy at first. That fucking woman's been passed around. Holy fuck. Like she's some big prize. Are you kidding me? What do you mean the rich? Are they all Republicans? What a dumb fucker you are. You want to call me dumb? You see, you come up on my panel again, Wiggin. You watch what happens when you come into my room. Now, you fucker. Yeah, you got me mad, you fucker. Managed to you guys did it. Everybody, I'm mad at Wiggin because he's a fucktard, buddy fucker, motherfucker. I'm gonna you gonna turn me in? I think you're part of them turning me in. You fucking idiot. Alicia, it really shows that you've made poor choices in your life. You might think that's a good choice, but you know it's not. Ignorant. Fucking ignorant!
Hillsdale College is offering more than 40 free online courses to learn a whole lot that's new. And I want to thank them on my behalf, on your behalf, for doing exactly this at no cost. No, it's
see me sit here and lecture.
The stories in the book of
like what you do, Wiggin.
Of our Constitution, the rise and fall of the Roman Republic, the history, the ancient Christian church with Hillsdale College's free online courses. You've heard about these things, maybe you know a little bit about them.
Fucking mad, I won't take your advice or fucking basically kiss your ass. You want me to kiss your ass, kiss the ring. Fuck you.
Christian faith.
You better be thankful we're 3,000 miles apart.
Profound influence on Western civilization.
Fucker. If you ever in my neck of the woods, if you fucking lived up this way, you fucker, it'd be a different story for you. You wouldn't be so fucking brave.
Major narrative themes, including the complex relationship between God and man, the consequences of a rupture in that relationship, and the path toward reconciliation. History is so filled with important information. The Bible, so.
You played grab ass with me last night, Wiggin. Got up on your panel and you wouldn't really let me speak my mind. So fuck you. That's the last time, boy. I won't post in your side chat either unless I come in there to fucking make a point to your dumb ass. Make you fucking cry. You think, oh, geez, they see Jarl Wiggin. They know. Oh, yeah, they go right after it. No, they don't. Otherwise, you'd have been using your name in JC's chat instead of mine. Oh, I didn't clone y'all. That's just who I am, Hayden. Oh, Dr. Haydenstein. I'm Jarl Wiggin. I'm king.
trashes somebody, more times than not, that means that.
Look at the piteous girl on YouTube.
Here's President Trump at his news conference today when somebody told him about Judge Cannon's ruling. Cut 7, go.
So what you're saying is I'm just hearing that they're not allowed to issue the report. So if they're not allowed to issue the report, that's the way it should be. Because he was thrown off the case in disgrace. Why should he be allowed to write a fake report? It'll only be a fake report. That's great news. Good.
See how smart he is? Seriously. Take all these phony journalists, all these phony legal analysts. He's smarter than all of them put together. How much time do I have, Rich? Well, we'll start. Cut 8, go.
Remember, this is a man that said he wants the transition to be smooth. Well, you don't do the kind of things. You don't have a judge working real hard to try and embarrass you. Because I did nothing wrong. By the way, I did nothing, absolutely nothing wrong. If I did something wrong, I wouldn't be standing here right now because I've won all these cases. Nobody's ever won so many cases as I have against the Justice Department. I mean, Jack Smith had cases all over the place. People were being subpoenaed. Lives were being ruined. They were spending everything they had, money. We were helping them out. We had to. They were subpoenaing people that had no idea what they were even talking about. That's a sick group of people. And it was all to influence the election. It was all a fight against a political opponent. We've never had that in this country. We have had that in certain countries. We've had that in third-tier countries. We've had that in banana republics, but we've never had that in a place like the United States. I don't even know if it's been on a small level. I'm sure it has been on a small level, but this was the largest level ever. They brought this moron out of The Hague. He's a mean guy. He's a mean, nasty guy.
All right, we got a break. I'm telling you, this guy is remarkable. Trump. Absolutely historic. Absolutely. We'll be right back.
Making sense of your world.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Great for what's going on. Making sense of the news.
Hey, do people ever judge you because of your teeth? Are they missing or are they broken? In fact, do you judge yourself? Do you? Well, it's time to do something about this. It's Vince. And if you don't know about Cascades One, you should. Cascades One is a revolutionary full mouth implant solution pioneered by Dr. Ruparelia with the Cascade Center for Dental Health. It's one office, it's one doctor, and it's one price. You see, they only use the best materials, and they really can create your perfect smile with teeth in a day using their tremendous on-site lab. And everything they do at Cascades is backed by an excellent guarantee because they deliver the highest quality work at the very best price. Do yourself a favor, change your life today. Go with Cascades, the Cascade Center for Dental Health in Sterling. Call them at 866-25-SLEEP. That's 866-25-SLEEP. Or visit Cascades1.com and get that no obligation consultation today. That's Cascades1.com.
The passing of another year may remind you of all the things you meant to do but never got around to. The moves you make now could affect your retirement income for many years to come. I'm Abe Abish, founder of Abish Financial Services. Make 2025 the year you stick to your financial resolutions. Join me for the Retirement Key, Saturday at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sunday at 8 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. on WMAL. And connect anytime at theretirementkey.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
WMAL-FM, Woodbridge, Washington, a Cumulus media station.
Making sense of the news.
News Talk 105.9.
News now. WMAL News at 7. I'm Heather Curtis. The public will be allowed into the Capitol Rotunda this hour to pay respects to the late President Jimmy Carter, who will lie in state through Thursday morning. Earlier tonight, members of Congress, Vice President Harris, and other dignitaries gathered for a solemn remembrance. House Speaker Mike Johnson praised Carter for following his faith to serve others.
We all know that his care for humanity didn't stop at building homes. In the face of illness, President
Jimmy Carter brought life-saving medicine. In the face of conflict, he brokered peace. In the face of discrimination, he reminded us that we are all made in the image of God.
You can visit the Capitol Rotunda until midnight tonight and again from 7 a.m. tomorrow through 7 a.m. on Thursday. President-elect Trump vowing to revoke a ban on offshore drilling in 625 million acres of ocean that President Biden announced yesterday.
I'm going to put it back on day one.
He says oil and gas production are an American strength.
625 million acres. This feels like the whole ocean.
President Biden says the environmental and economic risks from drilling in those areas outweigh their limited fossil fuel resource potential. You won't get to see Special Counsel Jack Smith's report on his classified documents case against President-elect Trump, at least for now.
The ruling by U.S. District Judge Eileen Cannon bars Special Counsel Jack Smith and Attorney General Merrick Garland from releasing the report, while the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals considers an emergency motion from two of Trump's former co-defendants. Trump's lawyers had asked the judge to intervene, saying the report's release would unfairly affect ongoing litigation against Trump valet Walt Nauta and Mar-a-Lago property manager Carlos de Oliveira. Cannon, who already dismissed the documents case against him last summer, saying Smith was unlawfully appointed. Trump called the move by the judge great news. Tanya Joy Powers, Fox News.
Some local school systems already canceling classes for tomorrow, including Montgomery County. Even though school's been closed, a hot meal is still available for some students on snow days.
Today's cold weather and code red with no classes served as a reminder that some children may not have eaten without seeing a school cafeteria. More than a third of Montgomery County public school kids are eligible for free or reduced price meals. MCPS spokesperson Liliana Lopez. The county opened 16 emergency sites at schools where they distributed meals to parents and guardians to pick up for students 18 and under to grab and go. Scott Lynn on WMAL and WMAL.com.
And they'll be open again tomorrow. And while MCPS students are undoubtedly excited about a third snow day in a row, they won't be too thrilled having to make it up. The school system already used its 2 snow days for the academic year. Any additional ones will need to be made up. One way is to tack extra days onto the end of the year. A Montgomery County man's charged with attempting to assault 3 people in a frightening attack over the weekend.
Police were called Sunday to the West Tech Shopping Center in Silver Spring, where a man was said to be chasing people with a machete for no apparent reason. 3 victims told police the man tried to assault them at random, but they were able to get away. When officers arrived, they say 24-year-old Michael Gomez ran from them through the parking lot and struck parked vehicles with the knife before tripping and losing the machete. That's when police stepped in and arrested the Silver Spring man. John Matthews on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Traffic and weather next.
Making sense of the headlines. This is the most astounding political story we will ever live to see. O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor.
Weekdays 5 to 9 a.m.
On News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Making sense of the news.
One 877 cars for kids. KARS cars for kids. 1-877 cars for kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS or go online at carsforkids.org to donate today.
1-877 cars for kids. KARS cars for kids. 1-877 cars for kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Here's Michelle Murray in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
Couple of road closures in Virginia due to accidents in Fauquier County. Virginia 28 is closed in each direction between Old Dumfries Road and Bristerburg Road due to an accident. And in Loudoun County, the Charlestown Pike is still closed between Hamilton Station Road and the Berlin Turnpike due to a serious accident. In Gaithersburg, a crash being reported on Russell Avenue at Montgomery Village Avenue. And there is accident activity to watch out for in the district on North Capitol Street at 8th Street. And in Landover, there is still an accident on Central Avenue west of the Beltway. And the BW Parkway, a crash reported between Route 50 and Kenilworth Avenue. Now for GarageRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
This evening will drop down to 24 to 30 degrees, dry, some scattered clouds overnight, 17 to 26, and a high temperature wind shift, just 28 to 35 degrees, with wind gusts around 25 miles per hour. Thursday, you're dry with sunshine. 7 News Chief Meteorologist Veronica Johnson in the First Alert Weather Center.
It's 31 degrees in Washington. I'm Heather Curtis on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now,
On News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Mark Levin.
In the underground command post, in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the freaking steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader of crime, Levin.
Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811. Hello, 877-381-3811.
You know, Jimmy Carter was a very poor president. That doesn't mean you don't acknowledge his patriotism. But he was also very, very anti-Israel at the same time. He became more left-wing as he was president of the United States, and then when he left as well. Now, obviously, you're not supposed to speak of the ill of the dead. But I got to thinking, what happens when Donald Trump goes? You think they'll speak ill of him, Mr. Producer? Isn't it going to be just disgusting? Or even when I go, can you imagine what they'll be saying about me? I mean, it's the truth. That these people are just hateful. They're just so nasty. And what about the people from January 6, 2020, who didn't attack the cops? Where Biden, Garland, and the rest of the reprobates threw the books at these guys and gals. Now they have their own writers. I mean, actually, let's step back and think about this. The guy just gave clemency to the most horrific murders in the federal prison system. And then they lecture us about January 6th. The vast majority of people who never touched a cop. It's different. You assault a cop, you're to be punished. Okay? You're violent, you're punished under all circumstances. But we're not talking about that, are we? And I don't want to have to keep saying I'm not talking about that. But here you have people who murdered people, and he gives them clemency. They're on death row, and he gives them clemency. They had their day in court. They had days in court, probably there 20 years, appeals up and down the chain, so forth and so on. Lawyers provided that. And he gives them clemency. It's like the border's wide open, and we have some of the sickest monsters on the face of the earth coming into our country and abusing our women and our children. That's sick. And despite all the BS, does nothing to stop it. In fact, he orchestrated it. But we're supposed to hate these people more. But I don't. I'm sorry. You have people who went to jail, people who are in jail, people who have pled and had to plead unfairly because the pressure was on, turning misdemeanors into felonies, who've served time in jail, who are still in jail. No, I'm sorry. I reject that. 100%. Particularly from the party of violence, the Democrat Party, the party of rioters. Trump was asked about this. Cut 9, go.
First, you said on your first day of office, you're going to pardon January 6th defendants. Are you planning to pardon those who were charged with violent offenses?
Well, we're looking at it, and we have other people in there. And as you see, I guess 24 or 28 people came now from the FBI. That came out very quietly. Nobody reported it, but they had people in some form related to the FBI. They had 4 or 5 people that were strongly related to the FBI. We have to find out about that. We have to find out about Hezbollah. We have to find out about who exactly was in that whole thing, because people that did some bad things were not prosecuted. You know, I see it all the time, and you see it too. People that were doing some bad things weren't prosecuted, and people that didn't even walk into the building are in jail right now. So we'll be looking at the whole thing, but I'll be making major pardons, yes.
They hate this. They just hate it. I mean, the fool in the White House pardons and gives clemency to 1,600 people. He says none of them are violent. We have people coming forward saying, yes, they are. Wait a minute. I know that guy. He did this to my wife. I know this guy. He killed my father and stuff like that. No big deal. Gives clemency to all these murders. No big deal. But Donald Trump is going to pardon less than 1,600 people, because there aren't 1,600 that went to jail. But he's going to pardon less than 1,600, perhaps hundreds. And that's just a crime. That's disgusting. Oh, my God. Can't wait to hear what Andrea Mitchell has to say. Yes, yes. And what about the FBI and the DOJ and their reputation with the American people? Cut 11, go.
The status of the FBI has gone down so far, and the status of the DOJ, or as I call it, the Department of Justice, it's the Department of Injustice, being laughed at all over the world.
Where we got that from?
And hopefully with Pam Bondi and with Kash Patel and with other people that we're putting in, that will all come back. If you do a poll in the FBI, I guarantee I'm at like 90% with the agents of the FBI, but they have hurt that incredible place. Law enforcement, I mean, you think of the FBI, they raided this house. By the way, they could have told me, could I see this guy? I would have given him I actually told them, come in anytime you want. You can see anything. They raided the house, and the case was dismissed. And now I'm in litigation. I'm suing them for doing that. And I feel so badly doing it. I'm the president of the United States, and I'm suing the United States, but I'm suing them for other things too. The FBI has gone so, its reputation has been so horribly hurt between Comey, who is the worst, and all of the others. What's happened to the FBI is, and we're going to make it great again. We're going to make the FBI great again. We're going to make the Department of Justice fair and strong, but fair again, because all they did was attack me because I'm their political opponent.
You know who's leading the charge in the Senate to stop Kash Patel? Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff is leading the charge to stop Kash Patel. It's an easy one to stop him. I believe he was on Meet the Depressed on Sunday. Don't watch these shows, folks. They're pathetic. I saw a clip of it myself. Then what about Biden? He's literally sabotaging our energy availability, driving up your costs. Biden on the way out the door. He's literally sabotaging the production of oil and gasoline. It's incredible. What's the president going to do about that? 12, go.
Biden's actions yesterday on offshore drilling, banning offshore drilling, will not stand. I will reverse it immediately. It'll be done immediately. And we will drill, baby, drill. We're going to be drilling in a lot of other locations, and the energy costs are going to come way down. They'll be brought down to a very low level, and that's going to bring everything else down. That's what caused it to go up, along with the ridiculous spending on the Green New scam. All this money, trillions of dollars. It's like throwing it right out the window, what they're doing. And they're trying to spend so much now. They're just taking money and giving it to anybody that wants it for any project at all, if it's certified under the Green New scam. And they don't work, and it's too expensive. And, they told me that we're going to do everything possible to make this transition to the new administration very smooth. It's not smooth because they're doing that. They're playing with the courts, as you know. They've been playing with the courts for 4 years, probably got me more votes because I got the highest number of votes ever gotten by a Republican, by far, actually, by a lot.
He's right. I just want you to hear there's just one more, because most of you weren't able to hear this during the day, but you're hearing the propaganda from the phony media spinning against him if you're on the internet and so forth. But you need to hear what he says. Cut 13, go.
It's always hard to bring down prices when somebody else has screwed something up like they did, but we'll bring them down. We'll get them down. Energy is going to bring down prices. We're going to have a lot of energy, and energy is what brought it up. Energy and their bad spending is what brought it up, and energy is going to bring it down. We're going to have prices down. I think you're going to see some pretty drastic price reductions. As an example, food, bacon, ham, apples, everything has gone through the roof. It's one of the reasons I won.
Mm-hmm. And he won the Electoral College. And that's why they hate the Electoral College. And so these people who claim to believe in the Constitution, believe in democracy, as they plot right now, scheme right now to undo the Trump presidency, even before he's in, just like they did in 2016, just like they're in the courts, trying to undo the Trump presidency before the man's even sworn in. They don't learn anything because they don't care that you voted in a landslide against them. They don't care. They have judges, they have the bureaucracy, so they'll wait till the next election. They'll change the rules in that election. No voter ID, voter harvesting. They got 1,000 ways to seize power and keep it. That's what they do. Jamie Raskin. Marxist Jamie Raskin, another gutless wonder who will not come on this program, who will not come on my TV show, who will not come on the place. A coward, a punk, and a Marxist. The enemy within. He's one of them. For sure. What's he up to now? Well, when we come back, I'll tell you. I'll be right back.
What? News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Making sense of the news. WMAL.
Making sense of the news.
Live
from the Home Paramount Pest Control Studios.
Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
Hey, it's Larry. I know that selling a home in today's market is tough. I also know that 49%.
Oh, well, I just got out of the shower. Right there. Fuck you. I'm my own team. Fuck off. Spanky. I'm going to spank you, motherfuckers. I'm going to fucking spank you. Yeah, Wiggin, you turn your camera on. You. Let's say you're 5 years older than me. Look at you. That's right. Alicia would be better off with the father of her children. So fuck you. You want to pass judgment on me there, fuckwad? I'll never come into your stream ever again, Wiggin. Never. It's a big fuck you. Do something. Fuckwad. Not kidding either. Not BSing.
Kenny's Insight and The Gold Show this Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. on WMAL.
He will step up to his challenge. Yeah, I'll do it.
Take on the tough classes now. You need them to prepare for college. Find out which classes you need and know how to go.org.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
The first 100 days of President Trump's new administration will shape the future of our nation. My friends at AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, are holding our leaders accountable with the first 100 days tracker. This powerful tool keeps you informed on the administration's progress and tracks key priorities. During these critical first 100 days, AMAC is offering an exclusive deal. 47% off a 5-year membership. Normally $60. Join now for just $32. As an Association of Mature American Citizens member, you're not just staying informed, you're unlocking valuable benefits like discounts on travel, insurance, and retail, and receiving America's #1 conservative magazine. Plus, you'll have a voice through AMAC Action and join a community that stands for conservative values and a brighter future. No matter your age, this is your moment to get involved. That's amac.us/Levin to join AMAC at a 47% discount. Become part of the movement that's making America great again.
Making sense of your world.
WMAL.
Get out of it out there.
Making sense of the news. Live and local.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Making sense of the news.
Knowledge is key to the unity of this country. It ensures that even states with small or smaller populations, but crucial to the nation, energy producing states, beef producing states, states where crops are grown and you need a lot of acres that aren't dense, that sort of thing, that they have representation. If you just go by the popular vote, then, the cities win and everybody else loses. And so you would have even more division in this nation. You'd have people who have absolutely no representation. So it is a sure way to destroy the country. Certainly whatever harmony there is, whatever harmony is left. Moreover, if you want to eliminate the Electoral College, you need to amend the Constitution because the Electoral College is in the Constitution. And so they've come up with this cockamamie scheme, you see, where states will get around the Constitution and the amendment process, blue states, by simply saying they will throw their Electoral College votes to whoever wins the popular vote, thereby making the Electoral College a dead letter in irrelevancy. And they'll even do that if in their own state, the other candidate wins. They will still throw their Electoral College votes to whoever wins the majority vote. So you're talking about purple and blue states who don't care how the people vote. That's what they want to do within their own state. Now, it's funny how they throw around the word insurrection, how they throw around the Constitution, democracy, when they're constantly screaming on how to destroy them. Constantly scheming on how to destroy them. Like no voter ID, stuff like that, voter harvesting, and now no Electoral College, and we'll just, the votes to amend the Constitution to do away with it. So we'll just do away with it. We have a whole scheme. And these are the people who claim to support democracy. Jamie Raskin is a Marxist. By the way, America, why won't any of these people debate me? We've tried AOC. We've gone through a long list of these Marxists. None of them will come on. Any form that I have. By the way, neither will the Rhinos. What is the problem? Fear. They fear me. But I wish they'd debate me. They're so smart. I'm just a dumb talk show host. Come on. Come on. Well, here is Raskin on The Daily Show. The Daily Show. Isn't that John Leibowitz's show, Mr. Producer? So here you have John Leibowitz, who changes his name because he doesn't want to be identified as a Jew. Imagine this. Imagine this. Or with Raskin, who's a Marxist. We got to get rid of the Electoral College, and then they pretend they want to get rid of it for the people. Now remember, fascists, Marxists, Islamists, autocrats of every stripe, they always seek to destroy tradition, systems, limited power, our Constitution, in the name of the people. in the name of democracy, excuse me, in the name of liberty, then, you know, the things they actually hate. It's like in China, as I've talked about, the People's Republic of China. The people have nothing to do with it. But here's Raskin on The Daily Show. Cut 15, go.
Donald Trump is very proud of the fact that he beat Kamala by 3 million votes, and we're proud of the fact that Joe Biden beat Donald Trump by 7 million votes in 2020. But if they're proud of the popular vote, why don't we get rid of the Electoral College and start electing the president the way we elect everybody else, like representatives and senators and mayors and
so there you have the clapping seals. You see, people vote for their own tyranny. Let me help out the dunce, and he knows this, but he's an a-hole. It's a Marxist. You have a direct vote for representatives of the House because there's 435. Each one representing a specific district with a specific population. So a member of the House from a specific district with a specific population doesn't represent the whole country. They represent their specific district with a specific population. What about the Senate? Well, I wish we could repeal the 17th Amendment. The reason we have a Senate was to represent the state legislatures. But they changed that, unfortunately, with the 17th Amendment, and now we have the direct election of senators. What do senators represent? A specific state, not the country, a specific state. Hello, again, what do they represent? A specific state, not the country. So senators represent a state, and House members represent a congressional district. Even Jamie Raskin, a Marxist puke like him, should have a level of third-grade intelligence, but he lies. So why don't we have direct elections like everybody else? Because the president and the vice president, they're the only people who are elected nationwide. Nationwide. And the framers were very clear. We can't have a president and vice president who are just elected by the big states, or we won't have a United States. Why would Montana or Wyoming or low population states, Alaska, why would they agree to a popular vote and not the Electoral College? I'll even go further. Why are there 2 senators for every state? Whether it's Delaware and Rhode Island or Montana and you name it, or California and New York and Pennsylvania, the high population states have 2 senators and the low populations have 2 senators. So according to Raskin's thinking, we should eliminate the United States Senate. We should eliminate the Senate, just have a popular vote, and destroy the country. You eliminate checks and balances. You eliminate separation of powers. It's called mobocracy and mob rule. And the Democrats benefit from mobocracy and mob rule because in the end, mobocracy and mob rule lead to what? Autocracy, fascism, Marxism, or some kind of ism. Certainly not democracy, certainly not republicanism. And so when you have a mob, you eventually have a tyranny. You can have tyranny by the mob, tyranny by a single dictator. But in the end, it's all concentrated power. And that's where Jamie Raskin is. You have to understand, Jamie Raskin is the enemy. Jamie Raskin is a Marxist. Jamie Raskin doesn't believe in the people. He believes he's so smart, he should control the people, re-engineer the people. That's what he is. And the little a-hole won't come on this program and debate me about it. I'll be right back. Time is our most precious commodity, and so many of my listeners have asked for my advice about how they can spend it wisely to improve themselves and the people around them. Well, Hillsdale College is offering more than 40 free online courses. Learn about the works of C.S. Lewis, the stories in the book of Genesis, the meaning of our Constitution, the rise and fall of the Roman Republic, the history of the ancient Christian church with Hillsdale College's free online courses. Personally, I'm enjoying Constitution 101. In this course, you'll explore the design and purpose of the Constitution, the challenges it faced during the Civil War, and how it's been undermined for more than a century by progressivism and liberalism. This 12-lecture course is self-paced, so start whenever and wherever you want. Start your free Constitution 101 course with Hillsdale College. It's free. Go right now to levinforhillsdale.com to enroll. There's no cost. It's easy to get started. That's LEVIN for Hillsdale.com. Register for free. levinforhillsdale.com.
PW Parkway, northbound and southbound lanes are closed in Arlington for hazardous driving conditions between Spot One Parkway and the Beltway. Now onto the Beltway. In Maryland, no delays in Prince George's County or in Montgomery County. 270 Montgomery County is at speed between the Beltway and Frederick, northbound and southbound. In D.C., 3rd Street Tunnel, the northbound tube is jammed up from 2nd Street to New York Avenue. And no worries on 295, 395, and 695. And now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Storm Watch 7 forecast.
Tonight, partly cloudy, a low around 18. Tomorrow, partly sunny, a high near 31.
This report is sponsored by PureTalk.com. It's time to ditch big wireless. Pure Talk gives you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month on America's most dependable 5G network. Switch today. Just dial pound 250 and say keyword switch now to save 50% off your first month with Pure Talk.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them. They have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Well, the holidays are over and you're done entertaining. And now you're ready for that special project, like remodeling the kitchen, bathroom, basement, or any room. I know it's a challenge, but it's not as tough as you think. It all starts with one call to Cabinet Discounters. You'll meet one of our friendly designers. They'll walk you through the entire process. So let's make it happen. Schedule your consultation today. Just go to CabinetDiscounters.com.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder. I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both. Get 50% off all windows plus no interest or payments for 2 years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild life.
At 877-381-3811.
The markets are volatile, ladies and gentlemen. A few weeks back, the stock market had dropped for, I think it was 10 days in a row. Gold is strong. Goes down a little, it goes up a little. Down a little, goes up even more. If you had invested in gold a year ago this time, it's up over 40%. Well, then you're saying it's already hit the top. No, it hasn't. There's some predictions it could hit 3,000. And if things keep going the way they are, not just in our country with the media and the Democrats and the rest, but also worldwide, people turn to gold. Countries turn to gold. What they do. The Fed doesn't know what it's doing. The Fed helped effectively subsidize through monetary policy the unbelievable spending that's taken place through the Biden years. We've actually never seen anything like it, not even during Franklin Roosevelt's presidency in World War II. Never seen anything like this. Trillions of dollars still floating around, just floating around for no damn good cause. What did it get us? Ask yourself, what did we get for trillions of dollars in this massive inflation? Absolutely nothing. But pain and suffering. The Federal Reserve is incompetent. They don't know what to do. Fiscal policy is a disaster. Even if it's fixed today, the debt is massive. That's why diversification matters. Diversification, and that's why I believe in diversification with gold. Gold is the best commodity there is in terms of diversification. Why? Because it has a value no matter what, and it could be used as a currency. It could be used by you, if push comes to shove, to actually purchase things. Call 800-900-8000 right now. Get your free gold investment kit from our friends at Advantage Gold. Why Advantage Gold? Because we've looked at all these gold companies. Advantage Gold is the best. I've dealt with a lot of them. They're the best. See how gold can help you diversify your investments. That's 800-900-8000. Get your free gold investment kit. I wouldn't wait any longer. There's no reason to wait. Just inform yourself. Gold has been helping to protect and grow wealth for people for thousands of years. It's that simple. So why would you turn your back on it? Mr. Gold, I trust Advantage Gold. That's my bet on the gold for. By the way, it's also cool to own gold. You know why? I get gold coins, usually Canadians. And it's fun to look at it. It's fun to hold it. It's fun to put it on my desk. Seriously. I'd say the same with, a $10 bill or something like that. So call 800-900-8000, 800-900-8000. Call them right now. They're there. Get the free gold investment kit to see how gold can help you diversify with your investment portfolio. And when you do, you can qualify for $1,000 in free silver. That's 800-900-8000. Don't wait. Call right now. 800-900-8000. Tell them Mark Levin sent you. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional. Now, you might say, look, I'm not some rich guy with all this money. You're in a more important position to protect yourself than anybody else then. I'm talking about your pensions. I'm talking about maybe some savings. Maybe you have a mutual fund with your pet. I'm talking about diversification no matter who you are. Because if it works for protecting you, as far as I'm concerned. Now, there was a big scandal. You may not know this a day or two ago. It was on Mediaite. They couldn't stop reporting on it, apparently. Brought to my attention. Apparently, Senator Deb Fischer, Nebraska, her husband didn't shake Vice President Kamala Harris's hand after Harris wore in his wife. And Mediaite, busy picking up clips and propaganda from their favorite sites and their favorite kooks. They were all over this, pushing the story. Joy Reid, America's bigot, she was all over this, pushing it on MSNBC. The usual bottom feeders, stomach crawlers in the American press were all on it. It was a big deal. Like this. Hat tip our buddies at Newsbuster. Cut 17, go.
This was the way that at least one Republican's spouse reacted to the Congress, to the senator, to the vice president of the United States on Friday when she swore in Deb Fischer of Nebraska. It appears that the husband of this United States senator would not even shake hands with the vice president of the United States. And I think what that shows, Congressman, is that there is not an equal reverence for democracy in both of these two parties.
And that was Bernie Thompson. Now, it turns out that Mr. Fisher, Deb Fisher's husband, walks with a cane. You see that, Mr. Producer? He couldn't shake her hand. he had to lean on the cane. He even said thank you. You could read his lips to the vice president. He said thank you, but he didn't shake her hand. He's leaning on the cane. This Joy Reid is a sick bastard. She is a hemorrhoidic of the worst order. That's a human hemorrhoid, a hemorrhoidic. Mark, I looked it up. It's not there. I know, I made it up. She's a hemorrhoidic. Over there at Mediaite, they haven't even apologized. You know, the platform that Dan Abrams started there, to make things a little different. Much like Media Matters over there, but worse. They pretend to be a serious outfit. They hire left-wing kooks. They have some backbencher former producer or cameraman who runs the damn Colby, and they put out a list every year. Top media influencers. They're a joke, and everybody knows it. Nobody likes them. They all know they're punks. And they ran with it, just like they run with everything anti-Trump. They haven't changed one bit. It's as if the election never happened. They're not a news organization. They're punks. They're demagogues. They're propagandists. And Dan Abrams apparently makes a lot of money off it. Dan Abrams, as I've told you before, is the Jerry Springer of cable. Court TV. Some guy jumping over the whatever to go after the judge and say, you see a clip of that, Mr. Producer? Oh, he's something else, that Dan. Dan Abrams pretends he's serious. He even glues that dead squirrel on the top of his head. Did you know that? It's true. What's with these guys? John Leibowitz has to change his name. This other guy pretends he's not bald. Why don't you just be who you are? And he is, through his pathetic, intellectually buffoonish website, Mediocreite, I call it. They ran with it. It's a big story, don't you know? Oh, yeah. This guy Fisher, he really so rude. And it must be one story. It must be because the vice president is a black woman. I read that somewhere. Yeah, that's right. Now, the guy needs a cane. He's standing up with the cane. He couldn't let go of the cane. He didn't shake her hand, but he said thank you. Oh, well, that demonstrates that these two parties, one only believes in democracy. The one that believes in no voter ID and voter harvesting. Nobody ever understood what that means. That means corruption. And get rid of the Electoral College and packing the Supreme Court. That's right. The Democrat Party, that's how they demonstrate. They believe in democracy, don't you know? Trying to sabotage Trump every step of the way. It's already begun, as it did in 2016. Trying to throw him in prison. They have their hack judge up there in New York. Rashawn, he's doing a good job for them. He'll wind up on the Supreme Court. Maybe not of the United States, but of Cuba, maybe. Cuba. Yes. Joy Reid. Did Joy Reid apologize? No. Did MSNBC apologize? No. Did Comcast apologize, which owns MSNBC, which employs Joy Reid? No. Did Mediocreite apologize? No. Nobody apologized. So they smear this guy. All he did was show up with his wife. She gets sworn in. He says thank you to the vice president. He can't shake her hand. He's using a cane. And all of a sudden now, he's their target. Hey, you see this bastard? This bastard. It's unbelievable. He says Kamala Harris. Now remember, Kamala Harris abuses her staff, story after story, before she decided to run for president. Remember, Kamala Harris wouldn't prosecute pedophiles. I think I'm the only one who reported on that. Nobody else wanted to pick it up. No. That's okay. Remember, her husband slapped some woman so hard she spun around. Oh, well, that's okay. We'll leave that to the Daily Mail. But somehow it was a great offense to Kamala Harris when the senator's husband didn't shake her hand. And now we know why. Because he was using a cane. Our media hate us. They hate the country. They hate patriots. They hate those of us who actually love the Constitution and the rule of law. They hate those of us who actually love American history. They hate us. And so we hate them. We despise them. And that's why they're dying. And that's why Comcast doesn't deserve one of your pennies. Nothing. Because we're going to spin off MSNBC. How long does that take? How long does it take to fire Joy Reid? They just re-upped her. Now, they had to cut her salary because they have no money, because they have no viewers. They just re-upped her. They just re-upped her. The bigot. The bigot. Man, oh man, of Shevitz. This is what we're up against. So this poor guy, he didn't shake her hand. Oh, I'm sorry. He didn't shake her hand. Oh, that must be the end of the world then. I'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Making sense of the news.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapor Stick. Soothing comfort for the whole family.
Musk started tweeting and exposed it. So I don't agree with this war on Elon Musk by some corners, period. You don't have to agree with them on everything. So what? He's on our side. London, the grooming and serial rape of thousands of English girls by men of mostly Pakistani Muslim background. Hello. Am I allowed to say that? Am I going to be banned? Over several decades is the biggest peacetime crime in the history of modern Europe. It went on for many years. It's still going on. There's been no justice for the vast majority of the raped victims. British governments, both Conservative and Labour, hoped that they had buried the story after a few symbolic prosecutions in the 2010s. And it looked like they had succeeded until Elon Musk read some of the court papers and tweeted his disgust and bafflement on X over the new year. Britain now stands shamed before the world. The public's suppressed wrath is bubbling to the surface in petitions, calls for a public inquiry, and demands for accountability. Pakistani Muslims just raping their way through Britain. The scandal's already reshaping British politics. It's not just about the heinous nature of the crimes. It's at every level of the British system is implicated in the cover-up. Funny, I didn't see this on cable TV. Funny, I didn't see this on the Sludge Report. Funny, I didn't see this on Mediocreite. Did you? Social workers were intimidated into silence. Local police ignored, excused, even abetted pedophile rapists, pedophile meaning raping little girls across dozens and little boys, dozens of cities. Senior police and home office officials deliberately avoided action in the name of maintaining what they called community relations. They're intimidated by the Pakistani Muslims, ladies and gentlemen. Local councillors and members of parliament rejected pleas for help from the parents of raped children. Charities, NGOs, Labour MPs accused those who discussed the scandal of racism and Islamophobia. The media mostly ignored or downplayed the biggest story of their lifetimes. Zealous in their incuriosity, much of British media elite remained barnacled to the bubble of Westminster politics and self-serving priorities. Much like the American sleazeball media, you might say. This is going on in our own country. Thank you, Joe Biden and Democrats, for your open border. Thank you, the Democrat Party media. You're doing a hell of a job. They did this to defend a failed model of multiculturalism and to avoid asking hard questions about failures of immigration policy and assimilation. They did this because they were afraid of being called racist or Islamophobic. They did this because Britain's traditional class snobbery had fused with the new snobbery of political correctness, all of which is why no one knows precisely how many thousands of young girls were raped in how many towns across Britain over the last 50 years. What we do know is that the epicenter was the post-industrial mill towns of England's North and Midlands, where immigrants from Pakistan and Bangladesh settled in the 1960s. White locals say the grooming and rapes began soon thereafter. In Rotterdam, the rundown Yorkshire city where the scandal first broke, local police and councillors were notified about systematic grooming and sex abuse by 2001. The first convictions did not occur until 2010, when 5 men of Pakistani background were jailed for multiple offenses against girls as young as 12 years of age. We had one 5 years old right here in Palm Beach, Florida. These men targeted the most vulnerable girls, the poor, the fatherless, children in care homes, with candy, food, taxi rides, and drugs. They raped the girls, passed them around family and friendship networks, pimped them in the similar networks in other cities, then discarded them as they reached the age of consent. This pattern was repeated in as many 50 cities across Britain, including the leafy Oxford and Liverpool. A 2014 inquiry estimated that 1,400 girls have been serially raped in Rotterdam alone. Britain, not so great anymore. Not so great anymore. This is the second crusade. I've warned you about this. I've told you about it. The second crusade. It's conquering Europe and is now potentially conquering the United States. I'll be right back.
Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811. 877-381-3811. This is hour 3, our power hour. How many of you have heard of Seward's Folly? Seward's Folly. This was related to the purchase of Alaska by the United States government from the Russians. October 18, 1867, the United States took formal possession of Alaska from Russia. Alaska was bought in 1867 from the Russians for $7.2 million, about $130 million in current dollars. It's very controversial. The Senate supported it and voted for it, but the House held up for a year. But it gave the United States a landmass of 586,000 square miles, about twice the size of Texas. But you see that a lot of the United States was unpopulated, was unsettled. So people said, what's the point of this? It's a folly. It's Seward's folly. You know, Seward had been the Secretary of State to Lincoln during the Civil War. And I can get into this in more detail. And there's the Louisiana Purchase. I was reminded of this by my stepson, David, who saw Fetterman discussing this on Fox. The Louisiana Purchase was very controversial. For constitutional reasons, I don't need to get into that right now either. So we acquired Louisiana. We acquired Alaska. What would we do if we didn't have the Louisiana Purchase? It'd be a disaster. What would we do if we didn't have Alaska? The Russians would be right on our doorstep, if you will. Even though it's connected to Canada, that's not the point. Can you imagine them having a sub base there right now? It's never a bad idea, if you can, to acquire additional territory on the planet. And these were two purchases, both of which were condemned. Donald Trump's talking about Greenland. As Fetterman said, that's a discussion worth having. It's a serious discussion, and I agree. That's why Fetterman's different than most of the Democrats. He pretty much votes down the line, as a matter of fact, but he says things that obviously irritate the Marxists and the Islamists among them. We have the Louisiana Purchase. We have the Seward so-called folly, the purchase of Alaska. Trump's talking about acquiring Greenland. And what is he, a nut? What, are you talking like an idiot? What's the problem here? What's going on? These people are just, they're in a box. They're in a mental box. They're either ideological rubes or they're just what they are. I said Trump's a historic figure. And the Panama Canal is very simple. It's a national security issue. That's it. We built it. We paid for it. Jimmy Carter gave it away. And Trump says, okay, I'm taking it back. And he said today, and I played it for you in the first hour, we didn't give it to the communist Chinese. We gave it to the Panamanians, which was stupid enough. So now our fleet getting from one ocean to the next, the reason the canal was built in the first place, a tremendous human and financial cost. And it is the eighth wonder of the world, how that was done, connecting the two oceans and the lock system they put in place. It's an engineering feat like we've never seen before. And by the way, they had to do it like 3 different times, come up with different plans because they weren't working originally. And Trump's saying, I'm not going to put up with this because Carter gave it away. And as far as Greenland goes, the Dutch can't defend Greenland from the communist Chinese and the Russians, who are, in the case of the communist Chinese, are building a navy that can control our navigable waters, the ocean lanes. We see what they've done in the South China Sea. And Trump sees it, yet he sees things other people don't see. It's just the truth. They've tried to turn him into some kind of buffoonish bigot. when in fact he's a brilliant patriot. That's the truth. That's the truth. And every day that goes by, you see it more and more, don't you? You see it more and more by the things he says, the way he conducts himself. So it is a discussion worth having. And beyond a discussion, it's worth something to pursue, I would say. It's very important. It's very radical, particularly now. And yes, we're trying to acquire Greenland. And yes, we're to find ways to take back the Panama Canal. Yes.
Eating a marshmallow.
I'm not so hot on Canada. Canada's not going to become a 51st state. But if you know Trump by now, and you know how he thinks and so forth and how funny he can be, but tongue in cheek, but yes, but a seriousness underlays it. You know what he's getting at. He says basically subsidizing that country. It might as well be a state. My attitude is, and again, I told him the other day, there's so many leftists in that country. I mean, there's so many great people too. Listen to this program. But nonetheless, it is an extremely liberal country. That's the truth. As Biden burns down the country on his way out the door, he's giving California special EPA waivers on the way out. You see, because of the Commerce Clause and other aspects of the federal Constitution, you can't have states setting economic policy for the whole country, like environmental policy and so forth. So they have to get certain waivers from the federal government. And as pointed out by our buddy Joel Pollack at Breitbart, Biden's outgoing administration has granted the California special EPA waivers to impose higher emission standards for lawnmowers, leaf blowers, refrigerated trucks, and off-road vehicles. Now, what does this mean? Well, California is a massive market. It's the most populous state we have. So if they set these requirements, then the manufacturers, they don't want to manufacture, oh, here's a product for Idaho, and here's a product for California. And so this is how the left does it. Whether either California or New York.
Fuck you. I ain't apologizing to nobody. Fuck off, Matt.
Democrat states join in, and then they
go back to Wiggins chat where you belong.
Manufacturing
or JC's. You gotta give a shit. She timed you out. Big fucking deal.
The moves are some of Biden's last attempts.
Back to Wiggins chat.
Progressive climate policies, aka Marxist economic policies, from President-elect Donald Trump. So again, all these policies are intended to reverse the outcome of the election and the policies Donald Trump ran on, while they run around and talk about a peaceful transfer of power and democracy. Just remember this. The EPA's approval of the waivers, which grant California the authority to set stricter than federal emissions regulations under the Clean Air Act, which already are impossible to meet. So this is a degrowth movement, as I've written about in American Marxism, as I've talked about on this air. This is a degrowth movement aimed to destroy certain industries. Gives the states nation-leading rules and extra layer of protection from Trump and his allies. It does more than that, Politico, and you know it. It tries to set policy for the nation through the state. House Speaker Mike Johnson pledged Friday that the Republican-led House would prioritize ending electric vehicle policies and other Democratic climate efforts. They're not climate efforts, Politico. They're degrowth efforts. California's tougher regulations on emissions, like its regulations on eggs and pork.
Fucking apologizing to nobody.
The American market as a whole.
Fuck you. I got your apology right here between my legs. Put your lips on it and fucking do some liposuction on me.
The American Trucking Associations criticized the waiver issued by Biden's EPA last month.
Morons.
That will allow California to impose tighter emission standards on trucks, adding, this ill-advised waiver will be short-lived. We look forward to the incoming administration and soon-to-be EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin. But why are they doing this? Again, to set national policy through the most radical left wing of the states, California. There are also concerns tighter regulations on trucks could lead to truckers avoiding California entirely, leaving fewer trucks to pick up.
Hey, Matt, I'm teaching myself how to use this fucking thing.
The busiest ports in the nation.
How's that sound?
In turn, could lead
to
a crisis. That in 2021 when they shut down the docks effectively. But don't worry, the transfer of power, it's very important, peaceful. It's got to be peaceful. This isn't an insurrection, no. I'll be right back.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Making sense of the news. WMAL.
Making sense.
Yeah, it works.
Paramount Pest Control Studios.
Home Paramount, the leader in pest control since 1939.
Hi, it's Jonathan Cotton with the Good Feed Store. And when you think of high-impact professionals in our community, who comes to mind? For me, nurses are right at the top of the list, given their care for my loved ones over the years. At the Good Feed Store, we often engage with nurses who are battling with pain in their knees and back, and they come to the Good Feed Store looking for relief. Here is Donna, a nurse sharing her story of what she experienced after visiting the Good Feet Store.
Oh, I have to tell you, I have struggled with pain in my feet. I was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis. With the 3-step program, it really fits to your lifestyle. I'm a registered nurse, so being on my feet, walking throughout the hospital during the day, I am free from any type of pain. And after working a 12-hour shift, I go home and my feet do not hurt.
There's your apology right there.
Enjoy your career without your feet getting in the way. Come see us at the Good Feet Store. The Good Feet Store has locations across
See this one?
Baltimore and now open in Fredericksburg. Visit goodfeet.com to book your appointment today.
WMAL.
Fuck you.
WMAL.
The passing of another year may remind you of all the things you meant to do but never got around to. The moves you make now could affect your retirement income for many years to come. I'm Abe Abish, founder of Abish Financial Services. Make 2025 the year you stick to your financial resolutions. Join me for the retirement.
That's like Monica blocking me. I'm supposed to be heartbroken. Monica blocks me. No, she doesn't completely block. They still watch. They sit and they fucking talk about the chat.
On training, job placement assistance,
wherever they're looking.
Technician today. Visit WMAL.com/auto. That's WMAL.com/auto.
Hey, it's Larry from my friends at CoCare Weight Loss, and I'm joined here today by JJ. JJ, why did you decide to come back and try CoCare again?
Yeah, well, I've seen Julie's success, obviously, and Larry, I've seen how you've sustained your weight loss, and I'm thinking about myself, and I've realized now's the time to change my health, and I know CoCare can help me with that.
Well, it's a new year, and you know what they say, new year, new you. We both know that many of you have been listening and thinking about losing weight, just like JJ has. Well, now's the time. Don't procrastinate anymore. CoPair has 2 programs. One program without medication for those.
I starting to look like Quaker Oats, yeah.
GLP-1 meds. This combined with CoPair's coaching will have you keep the weight off forever. Call now and make the new year a new you. Tell them Larry and JJ sent you and learn about their Jumpstart January program. Call 855-888-0180 to get started or go to COPAREhealth.com.
Time is our most precious commodity, and so many of my listeners have asked for my advice about how they can spend it wisely to improve themselves and the people around them. Well, Hillsdale College is offering more than 40 free online courses. Learn about the works of C.S. Lewis, the stories in the book of Genesis, the meaning of our Constitution, the rise and fall of the Roman Republic, the history of the ancient Christian church with Hillsdale College's free online courses. Personally, I'm enjoying Constitution 101. And in this course, you'll explore the design and purpose of the Constitution, the challenges it faced during the Civil War, and how it's been undermined for more than a century by progressivism and liberalism. This 12-lecture course is self-paced, so start whenever and wherever you want. Start your free Constitution 101 course with Hillsdale College. It's free. Go right now to levinforhillsdale.com to enroll. There's no cost. It's easy to get started. That's LEVIN for Hillsdale.com. Register for free. levinforhillsdale.com.
Making sense of your world. Thank you for your info.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL. This is a major wake-up call.
Making sense of the news.
Washington's best way to wake up. O'Connor and Company with Larry O'Connor. Weekday mornings from 5 to 9 on WMAL.
Say what you relieve the calls I get during the break here.
Noah.
Well, very good. A little distracting, so I got to move back here. Let's see here.
Bear with me, America.
I have celery and cream cheese too.
We talk about the Louisiana Purchase with Alaska. Communist China and Russia, these are militaristic conquering nations. That's what they are. That's what they do. And so they're trying to control the sea lanes. They're trying to control navigable waters. And what is the answer the Democrats have? Nothing. What has their president done? Nothing. What will he do? Nothing. Is there another Republican that you can think of who's talked about the Panama Canal and Greenland like this? I can't. The answer is no. Nobody has. Again, this is why this is so important. And we just talked about California, the EPA. This is all intended to gut our economic system. It's intended to shrink our economy because of these so-called climate change ideologues. Now, this has to be one of the coldest winters on record. Enormous amount of snow up and down the eastern seaboard and in the Midwest, more than I can ever remember. And that's why they stopped calling it global warming. So they changed it to climate change. It's a big propaganda. It's like the Arabs calling themselves Palestinian. No, they're just Bedouins. They're Arabs. No, we're Palestinians. Well, look at this. Look at the climate. It's freezing out there. Man, that's right. Climate change for all circumstances. And so you have to become poor. But I want you to look at the sabotage that's going on here. While they claim to support democracy and the will of the people and the peaceful transition of power, they don't support any of that stuff. They're sabotaging the economy. They're sabotaging the incoming president, whom you voted for in a landslide. They want to change again our constitutional system. They want to destroy the Electoral College. They've destroyed our border. They want to destroy the independence of the Supreme Court. They still have this flake, this phony, this fraud, this acting state judge piddling around up there to try and humiliate Trump. Meanwhile, people have noticed this. Over at Breitbart, Gallup, Americans to remember Joe Biden as the second worst president in history. 54% of Americans say Biden will be remembered as below average. 37%, or poor, 17%. Only 19% say will be remembered as outstanding. Those people are seriously mentally ill. Or above average, 13%. 26% think he'll be regarded as average. The only president with a worse number is Nixon. And you know why? Because the media have never stopped trashing Nixon. I don't agree with a lot of what Nixon did, but the idea that he's the worst president ever. What about James Buchanan? James Buchanan. Look it up. Google him. Not enough time. It's already 8:23, but look it up. Compared with 9 recent presidents included in the new Gallup poll, Biden rates most similarly to Nixon. Was a negative 42% rating. Now, the media will do everything they can, and not just the media. The historians will do everything they can to try and save this president. That's what they'll do. That's what they'll do. And anyway, do we have any callers, by the way, Mr. Producer? My call screen is not working. I think I've said a lot today. Who should we talk to? Julie, XM Satellite, Illinois. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Speak to us.
Got a couple of questions for you. Question number one. It's been reported that several of these executive edicts, including executive orders, have been signed by one of these signature machines rather than the president's.
Where was that reported, by the way? I haven't seen that.
My mother heard it. If you want to.
Well, I look at all the news. I haven't seen it anywhere in the news. Maybe somebody gave an opinion, or maybe was speculating. I doubt that's the case. I think it's more likely he signed it but didn't read it. Most likely he signed it and did read it because, this is all about his legacy. But
So I have no basis to even comment on that.
I have no source to quote to you, except that the question was, if it can be proven that he did not, in fact, sign it.
Right, here's the thing. I can't answer a potential hypothetical. If it could be proven, in other words, my mind doesn't work that way. If this theory or this allegation could be proven, then what? Well, let's first find out if it's true. Okay. And I suspect if he presses the button and directs that it be signed, it's okay. That's my guess. But I don't want to waste too much time. Oh, who's next, Mr. Producer? Nice and loud, right in my ears. Go ahead. The Mark Levin app, Allen in Baltimore, Maryland. You know, I like Baltimore, Maryland. My family and I have been there more and more. You've got a beautiful little Italy. You've got nice little restaurants popping up there and so forth. Go ahead. How are you?
Constitutional republic, and in fact, as a democracy, it's too much like 2 hours ready for dinner.
You're right. It's true.
I have a question for you. You may or may not know, may or may not be able to answer.
You know, not like other hosts. If I don't know an answer, I give you BS. If I don't know, I don't know. But go right ahead.
I know that.
Yes, sir.
I know that. You're like me. You don't know, you say, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll find out. I'll find out for you.
Luckily, I and probably you don't have to say that too often, but nonetheless, go right ahead.
President Biden was found by members of the DOJ as incompetent to stand trial.
Yes.
In respect of this action, after that finding was made, are edicts, legal issues, and binding, are they binding?
No, 100% no. So if this Department of Justice decided the statute of limitation has not run, they're not bound by them whatsoever. They can, in fact, bring charges. Again, depending on the immunity issue with the Supreme Court, I don't want to get too complicated, but no, they're not binding, and you make a great point. I'll be right back. The first 100 days of President Trump's new administration will shape the future of our nation. My friends at AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, are holding our leaders accountable with the first 100 days tracker. This powerful tool keeps you informed on the administration's progress and tracks key priorities. And during these critical first 100 days, AMAC is offering an exclusive deal. 47% off a 5-year membership. Normally $60. Join now for just $32. As an Association of Mature American Citizens member, you're not just staying informed, you're unlocking valuable benefits like discounts on travel, insurance, and retail, and receiving America's #1 conservative magazine. Plus, you'll have a voice through AMAC Action and join a community that stands for conservative values and a brighter future. No matter your age, this is your moment to get involved. That's amac.us/Levin to join AMAC at a 47% discount and become part of the movement that's making America great again.
Your phone has a lot of apps, but how many of them help you make sense of your world?
The new WMAL app gives you the latest headlines, perspective from the voices you trust, and weather info to keep you in the know.
All without having to remember yet another password.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
Stream your favorite shows.
Get the day's top headlines.
And access our podcast archives.
All with the new WMAL app.
Thank you. Get the WMAL app today on Google Play or the Apple App Store and stay connected. If your patio, sidewalk, or driveway is cracked or uneven, if you've tripped or fallen as a result, or if you're worried about the liability of an uneven surface on your property, American Concrete Services can quickly help. Don't pay the high cost to tear out and replace your sidewalk, patio, driveway, or pool deck. American Concrete Services has an economical solution which can raise and stabilize your existing concrete at a fraction of the cost of full replacement. They're environmentally friendly structural foam. With structural foam lifting, there's no heavy equipment to cause damage to your property and no loud noises from jackhammering. Best of all, most repairs can be completed in just one day. Have your entire patio, sidewalk, or driveway safe and level again. No job is too big or small. Call American Concrete Services now for your free estimate at 240-665-5665. That's 240-665-5665. Again, 240-665-5665. Licensed in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. MHIC 140530.
Hey, it's Larry for the Good Feet store. The new year is here, and for so many people, that means exercising and getting in shape is at the top of our New Year's resolutions. Now, don't forget to think about your feet. Experiencing lower back, leg, and foot pain can make trying to achieve fitness goals difficult. Take it from me. A few years ago, I was training for a half marathon in January, and I noticed I had foot pain. Now, forget about training for a half marathon. I couldn't even walk around the block without some pain, so I went to the Good Feet store. I got my free fitting. I got my test walk. They fit me with their fantastic arch support system, and then I was back on my feet in weeks. So don't let another year go by suffering in pain. The Good Feet store has helped thousands live a better life. The Good Feet store has locations across Greater DC, Baltimore, and now open in Fredericksburg. Visit goodfeet.com to book your appointment today or just stop by. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Start the new year on a better foot. Visit the Good Feet store today.
Get the perspective of an independent CFO with FVC Bank's online business insights platform. This is Vince, and I'm here to tell you that FVC Bank has rolled out the red carpet for its customers by providing the most modern online financial platforms to help your business grow. Business Insights gives FVC Bank business customers cash flow insights, competitive benchmarking, and much more. Go to fvcbank.com. That's fvcbank.com. Member FDIC.
Chris Plant here. Do you or someone you know suffer from macular degeneration or other vision-related issues? For nearly 50 years, the doctors at Low Vision Specialists of Maryland and Virginia have been designing special glasses to help people who have been diagnosed with macular degeneration or have other sight loss conditions caused by diabetes, cataracts, or stroke. People like Betty.
My vision was declining because of macular degeneration, and I was having particular problems driving and reading. He determined that I did, in fact, need the telescopic glasses. He really is, as far as I'm concerned, pretty much a miracle worker.
Low Vision Specialists help Betty gain back her vision and independence, and they can help you too. Give the doctors a call today at 301-321-7008 to schedule your no-hassle consultation. That's 301-321-7008. Don't wait. Pick up the phone and change your life today.
Making sense of your world.
News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Greatly appreciated.
Making sense of the news.
WMAL, making sense of social media, because big tech can't be trusted. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Mark Lothan on the front lines of liberty. Call in now, 877-381-3811.
We're back. We're front. Welcome back. Welcome front. Well, you see the Federal Reserve kicked up it cut the interest rates by a half a point, 2 separate times. It cut a quarter point. It's anemic. It's not going to do anything. Now, it can help you personally with your mortgage, that for sure, but it's not going to do much for the economy. And they did this because they're worried about the economy. I'm worried about the economy. And Joe Biden's doing everything humanly possible to make sure he scuttles the economy before Trump arrives. Have you ever seen somebody like this, a saboteur who's the president of the United States? It's the sickest damn thing. That's why I say he's not only demented, he's depraved, and he is depraved. Because they're worried about the fact that more jobs aren't being created. They're not. That the gross domestic product isn't growing. It's not. We're seeing different kinds of shifts in the markets. You know, a few weeks ago, the stock market was down 10 days in a row, then it pops up. That's not healthy. So I'm urging everyone to diversify. You got to protect your own money in whatever form it is, whether it's a Social Security check, a private pension, whether it's your income every month, whether it's a bank account, whether it's whatever it is. That's why diversification is so smart. So you're not putting all your eggs, so to speak, in one basket, which is the dollar bill. They're weakening the dollar bill with all this inflation, all this deficit spending. They're weakening it. And it has financial consequences. So you have to try and shield yourself. You do that through diversification. And diversify with what? My suggestion is what I do, gold. And who do I use? Advantage Gold. Why do I use them? Because I know these gold companies. They're the best one. That's why. Their number is 800-900-8000. Now, it's evening on the West Coast. It's nighttime on the East Coast and all kinds of times in between. Yet they're still there. 800-900-8000. Get a free gold investment kit to see how you can get started with diversification in gold. I recommend Advantage Gold. Call 800-900-8000. The free gold investment kit. You can even qualify for up to $1,000 in free silver. Again, 800-900-8000. Call them now, 800-900-8000. Tell them Mark Levin sent you. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax professional. Let's take some calls. Howie? Sorry, I'm imitating Andrea Mitchell. Just another beautiful face. John, St. Augustine, Florida. I don't know how you're calling us. It doesn't say here, but how are you, sir?
Great, Mark. I want to say first off, Americans owe you a huge debt of gratitude for your efforts these past 4 years. You helped move the center-right Democrats to vote for Trump, and our nation is much better off for your efforts.
Well, you're very, very kind. I don't know what I've done in that regard. I got a big compliment from President Trump yesterday. He said something similar. I don't believe it. I just do my thing. And John, but I want to thank you. And you're in, what is it, one of the oldest cities in America? St. Augustine?
On WBOB.
WBOB, baby. The Bob.
That's right. Well, I want to draw a quick parallel to your London rape story and bring it a little closer to home and direct my slings and arrows at the Vatican and the bishops and clergy throughout the world. I think the Catholic Church and their priests have been raping illiterate women and boys and girls.
Hold on now. Not everybody is Catholic Church. They had a period there in a particular part of the world, which I believe they've addressed. They got sued to Kingdom Come. But I'm not comfortable with where this is going, John, as much as I love you.
Well, I didn't mean all the priests. I know,
but it's a pretty broad brush. But anyway, try and communicate it. Go ahead.
All right. It's taboo to criticize the Catholics for protecting these priests.
Now, look, I on this show and on TV, I went after the pedophiles in the church in San Francisco and what they did, and the fact that Kamala Harris did nothing about it. So I don't have a problem talking about it. We've talked about it when there was an epidemic, where we actually had cardinals, particularly the cardinal in Washington, but in other places who were turning the other cheek and weren't looking. That's fine. But is there some epidemic going on today that I'm not aware of?
Well, I still think it goes on. And I still think they're providing them sinecures and protection and legal shelter.
Now, how do you know that?
I've been a victim myself.
Oh, really?
I had discussions with the bishop here in St. Augustine, who basically said he would pray for me and do not go to the press.
So wait a minute, you were abused?
No, I hate that. I was raped. The word is rape.
Oh my God. Well, I didn't know. That's why I'm asking.
Well, it was a long time ago, and it was a Catholic.
Look at this goofy looking.
I don't want to go too deep into that.
No, it's okay. But you're talking. You have the right to talk about this, given the fact that you were horribly victimized.
Well, I was told to come back to these dorms, and the kids who brought me back to the dorms told me what was about to happen. And I said, well, how do you know all this? It sounds horrific. I was 10 years old, too young to run.
What the fuck is with the watch he's wearing?
And he said, well, it just happened to me.
Oh my God.
This fucking place.
It's just number 2 or 3 for the day.
And how old are you now?
Laying on the floor.
60.
Oh my goodness.
Point is I hear it all about black rappers now, but I don't see any focus on the Catholic Church. I mean, let me just draw a quick analogy. If you have a son or daughter that was heading off to a college or university, and the university president informed you during drop-off day that your child was at risk of rape by the professors and the faculties and the deans of the school, and also was the goal of the university to
Goofy
protect the
fucker.
working
That fucker ain't a face.
them shelter and legal help. That my question is would you send your son or daughter to that university for any money? And any thinking parent would say absolutely not. So I have to ask the Catholics among your listeners, why would you give 1 red cent to the Catholic Church?
All right. Well, we're not going to resolve that here. I can tell you that. But first of all, thank you for calling. Thank you for your courage and your kind words. And I'm sorry you went through that, because that you can never erase that sort of thing. It's just a horrendous thing.
Look at this fucking place.
All right, John. God bless you. Take care of yourself. I don't have any further comment.
Fucking slob.
What was done to him is unspeakable. Absolutely unspeakable. All right, let's go to who else do we go to here? Huntington, West Virginia, XM Saddle. I'm almost speechless. It's so horrible. It's so sad.
This fucker's naked.
He talks about his experience like that. Now, the reason that I pursued it gently the way that I did is I figured something was going on there, because it kind of came out of left field, but now we know it's not out of left field. Thank you for your call, John. Kermit, Huntington, West Virginia, XM Satellite. Go right ahead.
Yes, sir. Mark, I comment I want to make with you on the hearing that that was on that road.
Oh, yeah.
They don't stop and think of what it's going to cost the taxpayers, and it's going to keep all these people in communities.
They don't care, man. They're running up the debt left and right. They're not thinking of your money. They're thinking of their power, their legacy, and their money. They don't care. These politicians give aid and comfort to murders. That's what Biden did.
They don't care.
They're on death row. Now they're not on death row.
This fucker.
That's like, I want to make another comment, please, too, if you don't mind. That's like they've been talking about making changes in Social Security, right?
Yep.
Okay, you got people out here that have been married for years on disability or SSI, whatever. Well, if you get married in this country and you're on an SSI, they will cut your check in over half for 2 people and expect you to live on whatever.
Now, see, this is something I don't know anything about. This has happened to you?
Oh, yeah.
Explain it again. I'm kind of a dummy on this. Go ahead.
Back in 2022, Bernie Sanders and Chuck Schumer had talked about making changes to Social Security. Okay, now Social Security, they don't bother. If you're on disability SSI and you get married, okay, you should be getting like $9.67 right now, right? They cut you down.
That's a month.
What a disgusting fucking slob.
Why do they do that?
Because you're married.
I know. Okay. So you get 9 something as a single person, and then you get 6 something you and your spouse. It comes to 12 something, but you're saying, "Oh, wait a minute. Why are you cutting mine?"
Yeah.
That's your point?
I mean, that's the...
Well, let me ask you this. They're letting all these new people get full Social Security benefits who are already getting government benefits. What do you think of that? Who's paying for that? Here's the problem. When we talk about all this, Social Security is going bankrupt in 11 years. That means in year 12, 80 or 85% of the benefits are going to be paid. In year 13, close to the 50% of the benefits are going to get paid. Who's doing anything about fixing and reforming the program? Nobody. So I'm worried. I'm worried that when people are 70, 80, 90 years old, 10 or 12 years from now, the benefits aren't going to be available to them. Period. And do you know of anybody else on radio who's even talking about this?
No.
No, because they consider it boring. Unless it's in their face, it's on a website, it's discussed on cable TV. They don't talk about it. Me, I'm looking at this situation because that's all I do is read and study and research. I'm looking at it and I'm saying, wait a minute, somebody start paying attention to this, or it's going to be too late.
They don't care.
They don't care.
Yeah, they don't want to pay attention. It's like the police department trying to do their job. They got to be coming out how they handle the people in their arresting because they're not going to lose their job. I mean,
where in you're in Huntington? That's a nice town, isn't it?
pretty much down, yeah. It's on the Ohio Kentucky borderline here.
You see a lot of people in Virginia are now moving to West Virginia because Virginia is now a purple state with a lot of left-wing policies. And they're getting out and they're moving to West Virginia because it's a solid conservative state. It's a very nice state. I like West Virginia. It's a beautiful state, actually. Yeah.
But, Mark, I commend you for the work that you do, buddy, because you do a fantastic job on the air.
You're a sweetheart. Thank you, Kermit. God bless you, brother. Getting a lot of accolades today, Mr. Producer. I got them from the president yesterday. I'm getting them from the people. We the people. I love you folks in this audience. You're the best of the best. I'll be right back.
What? News Talk 105. .com. That's 866-90-NATION.
Unfucking believable.
To drop without warning. Again, this time recorded point. Why? Because the Federal Reserve is not confident the economy.
I ain't running no panel tonight. I don't really feel like having anybody up here. And my meter reads 0 right now, so I'm leaving. And I'll be back. If anybody wants to fucking try me tonight.
Advantage Gold. They're one of the top gold companies in America. They're who I turn to when I purchase gold. Call them now. 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000 now for a free